Somewhere high up in mountains far, far away from civilization, the sun rises over the clouds and a cold wind blows, unable to hide the sound of an egg hatching. You struggle to come out of the egg with your weak limbs, all 6 of them, but the golden sunrise that matches the color of your nest and all the treasures around it heartily welcomes you. You are a majestic griffin, the undoubted king of beasts, who is unmatched both on earth and in the sky. You have the body of a lion and the wings and head of an eagle, truly the best of both worlds. Right now, you are quite far away from being a king because you have just been born, and you can't even open your eyes yet. Your parents work double jobs and come home only once in a few hours to feed you and check up on the eggs. But don't be afraid, they are not neglecting you because they didn't want you. Instead, the reason is just the opposite. You don't need to worry about that yet, because that will be explained to you once you grow a bit older. Usually, any creature will be stupid when it is just born, but not you, because after all, you are not just a regular creature, but a mythical beast. That means you don't grow at the same slow pace as the rest of the normies, at least mentally. You become able to understand and think around the same time you open your eyes, and that may not take more than a couple of weeks. However, you still can't even walk properly without bumping into things around the nest, so you better stop thinking about flying right now. Now that your eagle eyes that can beat any telescope have finally opened, you look around and see your nest and your siblings that have also come out of their eggs. Most of them are still blind, so they can't yet see that your nest looks quite shiny and beautiful, and that is your first introduction to gold. You notice a lot of it in the cave where your nest is. The cave is empty for now because both your parents, who are presumably gold diggers in a literal sense, are out fighting enemies to keep their 2 biggest treasures safe, which include the gold and you. You develop a fondness for gold and sense your innate sense of purpose, which compels you to hoard and protect it. Soon, your parents return home with some fresh meat, and they are proud to see that you are already getting ready to maintain their family legacy. A couple of months pass by, and now you can walk and run on all 4s. Your wings have also started to grow feathers, and the wing muscles have been increasing in size and strength, allowing you to briefly lift yourself up in the air. None of your siblings can do that just yet, but since they are all old enough to walk, they are old enough to know your family lore. Your parents start telling you about the origin story of your species. No one knows exactly how you lot came into being, but their best guess is that one day a lion and an eagle were traveling together, and one night when they were too tired, they came across a hotel that had just 1 room left. You have never even seen a lion or an eagle, but as you know, you're smart, so you make sense of the story quickly. Your parents tell you that your species have lived over a wide area, all the way from Europe to Middle East and North Africa to India and China. They have been treated as mythical beings, the symbols of gods and sometimes even monsters to be slain. But none of that really matters. Next, your parents give you the affirmation of what you already know. It is your life's mission to protect the treasure that your ancestors have gathered for generations. They are talking about gold, obviously, and what you see in the cave is just the tip of the iceberg. There is an incredible amount of gold hidden within the mountains, mostly in the mines that have not been discovered yet. You are told that the griffins have been the OG gold hoarders, but recently some fire-breathing lizards called dragons have started to ape you. You don't really care much about the lizards as you continue to grow. Your parents don't allow you to leave the mountain just yet, because even for a young griffin, the world out there isn't exactly the safest place. Luckily, the mountains are huge, and there are too many things here that you have not seen yet. It will take time for you to take everything in and satisfy your curiosity. Your parents take you and your siblings out on field trips, teaching you about your territory and the art of hunting prey. You see your parents swoop full-grown deer with ease, but you can only try the skills you have learned on rabbits and other smaller creatures. There are other griffin families on the nearby mountains, and you have a cool relationship with your cousins and your uncles and aunts. In between, your parents sometimes get up in the middle of the night and leave the nest for a couple of days, and you have to be in charge of your siblings. They often look tired and injured when they return home, but they often have a lot of meat with them. And then one day, it is just your mom that comes back. Now you are the man of the house, and it is your duty to continue the fight that cost your father's life. The next time your mother senses intruders, she takes you along to fight. For the first time, you see the enemies that have fought your family for generations. These are the one-eyed creatures called Arimaspi, who have always been thirsting after your gold. They come on horseback from the plains at the foothills of the mountain range and always try to get their hands on your treasure. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose, but the battle between the Arimaspis and the Griffins is always intense. Since this is your first time, you just witnessed the fierce battle between the one-eyed monsters and your extended family from the sidelines, but sooner or later, you are going to join the action as well. Your family manages to push back the enemies this time without any casualties, and you begin to learn more about them gradually. A few weeks later, you join the fight despite not being a fully grown adult yet. You fight bravely, defeating some of the monsters by yourself. It is another successful defense, and now is the time to reap the rewards. You pick up the horses of the defeated enemies and fly them back to your nest for dinner. You are only slightly bigger than a horse yourself at this point, but you are the man of your house, and you have to do this job on your own. In a couple of years, you bulk out and reach the size of an adult griffin. The wars with the Arimaspi still continue, and you have started to rise as a leader among your tribe. One day, you manage to slay the enemy leader after a long and bloody one-on-one, and that is the defining moment in the long war. The Arimaspi retreat immediately, taking a long break to fill in the empty post of their CEO, and the Griffins have a chance to catch their breath. Now that there is no danger to your family, you decide to go backpacking across Europe to explore the world with your own eyes. Your majestic wings carry you anywhere you want swiftly, and with your sharp eyesight, you never fail to spot prey. Your powerful grip never lets go of what you catch, and you start getting used to this peaceful adventure. Well, that doesn't last long because you ventured out a little too far from the uninhabited zones and reached near a settlement of another species that looks quite intelligent. They are shaped roughly like your mortal enemies and ride horses too, but they are smaller and have 2 eyes. Now obviously, you are a top G among the Griffins, and even the leader of your arch-enemies wasn't as strong as you. So what are these puny little creatures called humans going to do? You start feasting on the creatures they farm, and the humans can't do much against you. And since you are the king of all beasts, everyone is prey to you, even the humans. You try a couple of them, but nah. They are full of shit and taste horrible. So you stick to the sheep, goats, and horses. Occasionally, you see some humans riding in fancy boxes with golden decorations. Well, if there's anyone who has the right to all this gold, it is you. So you attack the fancy boxes, eat the horses, and gather whatever shiny things there are inside along with the gold. You create a small bachelor's nest for yourself nearby, so that you can just farm the humans for whatever you want. The humans are scared of you, but eventually they run out of patience, and their leader sends a group wearing shiny armor and carrying pointy sticks to defeat you. You just scoff at these fools for not knowing their place and low-diff them in a few minutes. The same sequence repeats a couple more times, but then the humans come in a very large number, and you low-key don't want to take your chances with them, because it is not worth it anymore. So you grab all the gold you can, and fly back home to tell your siblings the wonderful stories of your adventure. Everyone around you starts telling you to get a wife and create some strong offspring to carry on the tradition, and you do just that. You get a baddie for yourself, and then the 2 of you stay in the honeymoon phase till she lays eggs. Meanwhile, you learn that the Arimaspi have started raising their heads once again, but you are there to protect the gold and your young ones, so the Griffins have more confidence. Unfortunately, there's another problem that they have never faced before. The humans followed you all the way to your home for revenge, but now that they have seen the gold, their priorities have shifted. You try to shoo them away, but they are really aggressive in their efforts to mine gold from the mountains. They try to find a way to your nest as well, but they haven't invented mountaineering yet, so they give up halfway and start calling you a holy beast because you live so high up that they genuinely believe that you live in heaven. They relay the message to their leader, who decides to give up the idea of hunting you and instead adopts you as the symbol for strength and royalty. You don't give 2 shits about that though, and it doesn't mean that all humans respect you. Some of them think that since you are a mythical beast, all your body parts are magical. These vile humans try to hunt your kind down for that, and though their success rate is low, anything above 0% means that the Griffins are dying. Well, the cycle of life and death is the way of nature, and you are aware of it. You have seen enough fights and deaths that you no longer grieve at each loss. You believe that living in the moment is the only way to enjoy the freedom that you have got, and you don't concern yourself with the matters of humans even as they begin adding your stories to their lores and making you a part of their symbolism. To you, all those are just grand stories that lack any credibility, but as long as they don't cost you anything, you can just live with it, just like you have lived all this time.